While everyone was talking about GPT and Claude last month, a French AI lab quietly released a model that the French military is already using, one that European banks, hospitals, and governments are signing contracts for because of a single reason that has nothing to do with performance. What if the most strategic AI move in 2026 isn't about which model is the smartest? It's about which model you can actually trust with your data. That's the question Mistral Medium 3.5 is built to answer. And by the end of this video, you'll understand why this might matter to you too, even if you've never heard of Mistral before today. Mistral AI is a French artificial intelligence company founded in 2023 by researchers who previously worked at Meta and Google DeepMind. They came out of nowhere, and their first model immediately outperformed models 3 times its size. The AI community took notice. Today, Mistral is valued at $14 billion, has raised over €1 billion from investors including NVIDIA and Andreessen Horowitz, and is on track to hit $1 billion in revenue this year. The CEO, Arthur Mensch, said that publicly at Davos in January. But here's what makes Mistral genuinely different from every other AI lab on this list. They're European, and in 2026, that's not just a fun fact, it's a business strategy. Released in April 2026, Mistral Medium 3.5 is their new flagship model. Here's what you need to know technically. In plain English, it's a 128 billion parameter model, large, but importantly it's what's called a dense model, meaning it uses all of its parameters on every task. That's different from something like DeepSeek V4, which uses a mixture of experts approach. Mistral chose density for reliability and predictability, qualities that matter enormously in enterprise and government deployments. The context window is 256,000 tokens. Think of that as roughly 200,000 words, or a full legal document, medical report, or software codebase loaded in at once. On real-world coding benchmarks, it scored 77.6% on SWE Bench Verified, outperforming Mistral 2 and Qwen 3.5. That's not the very top of the leaderboard, but it's firmly in the frontier tier. And it's the new default model powering Mistral's own coding agent, Mistral Vibe. Most importantly for the sovereignty story, it can be self-hosted on as few as 4 GPUs. That means organizations can run it entirely on their own servers, completely offline, with zero data leaving their walls. Now let's talk about what Medium 3.5 actually powers. Because the model itself is only half the story. Mistral launched something called Vibe Remote Agents alongside Medium 3.5. Here's the idea. Normally when you use an AI coding assistant, it runs locally on your computer and stops the moment you close the app. Remote agents flip that. You give Mistral a coding task. It runs it in the cloud, in parallel, on its own, and notifies you when it's done. You can even start a session on your laptop and teleport it up to the cloud to keep running while you step away. It plugs into the tools developers already use: GitHub for code, Linear and Jira for project management, Sentry for bugs, Slack for notifications. So an agent can find a bug in Sentry, fix the code on GitHub, open a pull request, and message your team on Slack, all without you touching a keyboard. They also launched Work Mode in 𝗲chat, their consumer assistant. It's an agentic mode that can work across your email, calendar, documents, and web simultaneously. Catch up on emails while researching for a meeting, while drafting a report. All in one go. Every action it takes is visible, and it asks for your approval before doing anything sensitive like sending a message or modifying a file. Now here's the part most AI channels aren't talking about. And it's the reason I think Mistral might be one of the most strategically important AI companies in the world right now. When a European hospital sends patient data to OpenAI or Anthropic to process, that data travels to American servers. And under a US law called the Cloud Act, American intelligence agencies can legally demand access to that data, even if it's stored abroad. For a European hospital, bank, or government ministry, that's not a theoretical risk. It's a compliance nightmare. Mistral's answer is simple. They're a French company. Their infrastructure is in Europe. And their models can be run entirely on your own hardware, under an open license. Your data never leaves your building if you don't want it to. This isn't just philosophy. In January 2026, France's Ministry of Armed Forces signed a framework agreement with Mistral to deploy their AI models across all branches of the French military, specifically on French-controlled infrastructure. That deal runs to 2030. France and Germany also signed a joint agreement to deploy Mistral for public administration. Speak is using self-hosted Mistral models for credit assessments and compliance reviews. Stellantis and Veolia have signed on too. Mistral's CEO put it bluntly at the AI Impact Summit earlier this year. The question isn't just which AI is the most capable. It's which AI gives you control over your own infrastructure and your own data. That argument is landing with governments and regulated enterprises in a way that benchmark scores simply don't. When we use models that are American or Chinese, our data is saved in warehouses there. Data is power, and if you want to hold information and power, the physical infrastructure should be in your own country. European AI founder and advisor, 𝗿𝗿cie𝗺𝗶cie. Mistral Medium 3.5 is available right now in 3 ways. Through the API, it costs $1.50 per $1 million input tokens and $7.50 per million output tokens, cheaper than 𝗿𝗿𝗄𝗎 4.7 and GPT 5.5. You can access it via Mistral Studio or through NVIDIA's build.nvidia.com platform. The open weights are available on Hugging Face under a modified MIT license. That means you can download the model, run it yourself, fine-tune it for your specific use case, and build commercial products on top of it. Legally. For free. For consumers, it's now the default model in LeChat, Mistral's ChatGPT alternative. The Pro plan is $14.99 a month, notably cheaper than ChatGPT Plus or Claude Pro. There's also a free tier if you just want to try it. Here's the thing about Mistral Medium 3.5. It's not trying to be the flashiest model in the room. It's not chasing the highest benchmark score or the biggest context window. It's trying to be the model that the world's most cautious, most regulated, most data-conscious institutions can actually trust, and then be good enough that they don't have to compromise on performance to get that trust. In a world where AI is becoming critical infrastructure, powering hospitals, militaries, banks, governments, the question of who controls the AI might matter just as much as what the AI can do. And right now, Mistral is the only frontier lab with a credible answer that isn't American or Chinese. That's worth paying attention to. If you found this useful, subscribe. I cover every major AI release like this, every week. And drop a comment. Do you think sovereignty will matter more or less as AI gets more powerful? I'm genuinely curious where you land on that.